HY469 is a very broad-ranging course, fundamentally about the history of cartography from the medieval period right up to the start of the 20th century. And what it does is it uses maps in order to investigate a whole variety of different cultural contexts through the entirety of that period. So what we do is we look at various maps from various places and various periods and think about some of the big issues in history over that broad period of time. The rise of the state, the development of empires, the history of religious belief, the history of prejudice in class or racial terms, and we use cartographic materials in order to analyse those themes in detail. It's a very broad-ranging course in time terms. It's also enormously wide-ranging in terms of place, so that we cover a huge variety of different countries from Europe to the Americas to Asia, Africa, a number of different contexts, in other words. This is big history at its best, I think. The course is structured across 20 weeks. There's an introductory week in which students are introduced to the study of cartography. There is no expectation in this course that a student should have studied cartography before. The assumption is that people are coming at this from different backgrounds and different perspectives. So there's an introductory week in which I talk about how to read maps and how to interpret them. And then after that first introductory, we really get going on the course, beginning broadly chronologically with the medieval period, and then working through our different contexts, ending up at the end of the course in the late 19th and the early 20th century. The benefits that a student will receive from doing this course, I think, are numerous. First of all, this is a very big picture course, so it allows you to get an overview of a number of different issues that are fundamental to historical study. It's partly a course about maps, of course, and if you're interested in maps, then you should certainly do this course. But you can also see it as an introduction to a number of the big ideas in early modern history. So if you're interested in the rise of states, the rise of nationalism, for instance, the history of empires, then this is the kind of course you should be thinking about, because it takes a number of different contexts and uses evidence liberally and imaginatively in order to better understand those contexts. One student who did the course a few years ago told me that after having completed it, then she was never able to look at a map again because she was always thinking about the ideological implications of maps. And that's a very good result from this course, because I think it can change the way you see and interpret the world.